and I thought I'd do another video. So today I'm just going to kind of have a quick glance at some of the animals that I've got that either haven't been on the channel very much, or maybe that never have. So I've kind of been looking around the room thinking, that one's not been on, that one's not been on, that one's not been on, and kind of thinking maybe it's time that we kind of do that. So I've got out here Nova, and this is my Leachianus gecko, and as you can see, he or she, I'm not sure which, is absolutely beautiful. And when it gets fired up, which I'm sure it will be because it really does not like being handled, you can see these lovely like pastel pink stripes that come down the side. So this is Nova. I don't handle Nova very often because it just doesn't really like it, to be honest. This is about as calm as I've ever seen it. I don't like calling it, but I'm not sure the sex. But I am kind of just slowly trying to get it used to being handled, and they do jump, as you've just seen. So I kind of need to do it when it's on the calmer side and it's not likely to jump and kind of hurt itself, which I'm still not convinced it might not do. But, so there is Nova, and let's see who else we can find to come out and say hello. So next up, sticking with geckos, this is the only other gecko. We've only got 2 lizards, and this is George, the absolutely beautiful leopard gecko. And he's kind of a full-grown male now, I'd say. He might do a little bit more growing outwards, but he's an absolute stunner. He's probably, how old is he now? Maybe 3-ish. My son bought him actually from Doncaster here in the UK, and he's just a really funny character. Whenever I come in, he comes straight up to the glass and has a look to see what I'm doing. He's really nosy. And yeah, so this is George. He's just normal phase, so this is how you'd see them in the wild. Leopard gecko, you can see there very well why they're called leopard geckos, with their spots and their coloration. But yeah, this is George. So next up for today's video is Marlin. He is an albino milksnake. I think he's a Nelson's. If anyone else knows better than that, please let me know. I think he's just going into shed actually, looking at his tummy. He's a little bit milky under there. I initially thought he was a Honduran, but this is his max size now. He's probably 4 years old, 5 years old maybe. And he eats a lot. Because obviously when I bought him I thought he was a Honduran milk snake, and they obviously get a lot bigger. So I was feeding him as if he was going to grow bigger. And he kind of got to a certain length and then just started growing outwards rather than longer. So he is now slowed up on food a little bit, but he's in fairly decent condition. He is a little bit like a stuffed sausage in some places. But he's not too soft around the edges or anything like that, so he's not doing too badly at the minute. But yeah, so this is an albino Nelson's, I think, milk snake, and this is Marlin. So next up we've got this blue-eyed leucistic girl. She hasn't been seen on the channel yet. I've had her a little while, the same time as the adult females that I got from Jane at Haunted Cornwall, sorry. I'm just noticing actually she's a bit pinky and her eyes are a little bit milky. I think she's just going into shed, but that is her. Not sure what to call her yet, but she's an absolute beauty, really calm and placid in the hand, as you would expect from a Royal Python really. So yeah, any ideas on names would be delightful. So another Royal Python. So this is a female chino Royal Python, and this is the newest gene from the blue-eyed leucistic complex. So the last snake that we saw was obviously jet white, pure white, just jet black, isn't it? Pure white, icy blue eyes, and that's blue-eyed leucistic. So This is the last snake that's been put onto morph market as part of that blue-eyed leucistic complex. So if you breed a chino to any of the other snakes in the blue-eyed complex, and obviously, or another chino, you would get a blue-eyed leucistic snake like the one we just saw, which I just find absolutely fascinating when you think about, you know, how you can go from this and this to a completely white snake. It's absolutely amazing, actually. This girl hasn't appeared much on the channel, and that's purely because I struggled to get her feeding. She was an absolute chunk when she first arrived. She'd been doing really well, absolutely thriving with Mark at MSG. I'll tag him down below. But I just, for some reason, I couldn't get her to start feeding with me. So it took a little while. She's now feeding without fail, and as you can probably see, is a pretty decent size. So yeah, she's doing really good. So this is a chino female, and I've got to decide what I'm going to do with her in terms of breeding going forward. Have you twisted yourself like that, you silly girl? So that's her. Okay, so we've gone from blue-eyed to black-eyed leucistic. This is Daisy. She is a super fire. So she is 2 fire genes basically, which will give you an all-white snake with jet black eyes. So if I can try and get a bit closer to her face, obviously the last one had iced blue eyes, and if I can get her to come round, you'll see that Daisy's got completely jet black eyes on a white snake. I mean, who doesn't like a white snake? But she's the absolute beauty. Daisy really, I don't think has actually missed a meal since I got her. I actually did a swap when I got Daisy. I had some hognose snakes, which I really like hognose snakes, but I just wasn't really doing anything with them. And I saw that somebody down in Cornwall wanted some hognose snakes, and they would do a swap with her, so I was like, ideal. Absolutely fine by me. So yeah, so this is Daisy, and she is getting pretty big now. I'm hoping that she might breed next year. She's a decent weight, really good condition, and as I said, she doesn't ever miss a meal. So fingers crossed for the coming breeding seasons for this beauty. Okay, so we're going a bit darker. This is Morticia, and she is a black pastel, just a straight black pastel, and she is a little bit hissy and a little bit huffy and puffy, just because she's a bit highly strung really. So you may see me get bitten with her, but I don't mind. She is very beautiful and I forgive her. So we've gone from the very light to the dark side. And anyone that knows me on social media knows that I am quite fond of the dark stuff. And so I'm hoping in the future that we'll get, I'm not 100% sure what to actually do with her, to be honest, at the moment. I have got a black pastel male in there. Let's see what he's doing. He also, he's also been eating like an absolute beast. Yeah, he's in shed as well, but he won't mind if we just have a quick look. So that's Gomez. So that's her black pastel counterpart. Obviously he's black pastel pinstripe, but as you can see by his colour, deep in shed at the moment. Sorry bud, I'll put him back. Yeah, so that's Gomez. And I've got those two guys at the same time from Scott Wilkinson. I'll tag Scott below so that you can get his Instagram details and all of that stuff. But yeah, I really like black pastel. I like the way it changes the pattern. I like what it does. It makes the back really dark outlines to the pattern. I just like it. It makes everything a little bit richer, which you can't really go wrong with, can you? So, got to put my thinking cap on, decide who is going to be her boyfriend. Maybe next year, maybe the year after. We'll see how she grows. But yeah, time will tell. This is Morticia. So this girl definitely hasn't had enough airtime certainly not, and we've gone a little bit lighter again. But this girl is a cinnamon bamboo fire, and again I got her from Scott Wilkinson, and she seems to have gone really long and lanky like a teenager at the moment. She eats really well. She's always been on the leaner side, but I don't mind. She's growing really well. She's doing everything that she should do. She's just shed, so she's looking really lovely at the moment. Let me just try and get her into one hand so that you might be able to see more of her in the shot. She's just gorgeous. What I do love about her, I'm not sure if you pick up, are these random little grey patches that she's got, like it's just been greyed out, particularly down her tail. She's got really nice greys down here. Yeah, and she's just a bit stunning. So that's Tigra. Okay, so we've gone from the sublime to the ridiculous, and here is Gary. Gary is a garter snake that's just weed all over me, and I can tell you it stinks. So he is a checkered garter. He is albino, and it just doesn't seem to ever grow. Although when I got him, he was probably like literally the size of his tail, like there. Yeah, so doesn't seem to do an awful lot other than want to kill me, eat and shed. And yeah, so that's him. Garter snakes are really cool actually, because they're one of few snake species that you can actually keep in a colony. So I probably will try and get some females for him going forward and try and get like a bit of a colony going. He has got a very long tail, so I am pretty sure that he's a boy. Although you can keep them together anyway, pretty much, I think. Probably wouldn't keep more than one male in an enclosure. But yeah, so this is Gary. So it obviously wouldn't be a handling video if Beatrice didn't come out. She's been a pest. She's kind of got off of my shoulder, which isn't the best position for her to be in, because she'll fall. Ah, there we go, that's better. So here's Beatrice. She's just shed. She's looking spectacular. She wants to go home. Are you trying to get home? She seems to have grown a bit again. But as I keep saying, I don't think she'll get an awful lot bigger than this now, to be honest. She's a lovely girl. She's very reliable, unless you smell like food, and then not at all reliable, actually. But yeah, so this is a snake that I'd never handle if there was food around, just because it's a silly idea. And I would never handle her after dark, because again, it's a silly idea. As I've said before, probably a million times, they are nighttime hunters, so I only ever handle in daylight hours, only ever feed at night. And it's just another layer of safety, really, when you're talking about big snakes that could actually do you quite serious damage if they wanted to, or not even if they wanted to, by accident. If they grab you thinking that it's feeding time and it's not, it's just not worth running the risk. She's dying to go back, so I'm just going to let her go back in. I'm going to leave it there. Just wanted to do a quick video with an update of some of the animals that you may not have seen for a little while. Like the video if you like it, subscribe if you haven't already, I'd really appreciate the support. If you think you know other people that might like this type of content, please share it to other social media platforms, I'd really appreciate that. And I'll see you again. Go on, silly. That's so lovely.